currently in the process of buying property here in Dubai. I've been researching this process for almost 2 years now, finding out about different areas, sort of thinking about what I'm looking for. And now that I am back in Dubai after a long summer away, it is now the time to move forward with my property buying process. Today, we're looking at 6 different properties in downtown as well as Dubai Creek Harbour. 3 of them in downtown, 3 of them in the creek. I will show you the exact prices for all these units. I will show you a tour of the unit, and I will also talk about which one of them I like, which one of them I don't like, because throughout this process of working with the real estate agent that I'm working with, I've learned so much about the different buildings, different developers, and like different things to consider. So I hope this video will kind of give you like a virtual property viewing tour for you as well. If you're interested in buying property in Dubai, this will also give you an idea of what you can get for different budgets. And by the way, if you yourself are looking to buy property, it is very, very important that you work with an agent that is actually good. There's a lot of agents in Dubai. Most of them are not that good. Luckily, I'm working with someone who is absolutely excellent. So if you want to work with an agent who you can fully trust, who's going to actually give you a good service and help you find the property that you want, you can actually work with the same agent that I am working with. And they offer a free discovery call, which you can book from the first link down below in the description. So if you're interested in buying property, you can book that free consultation, you can have a chat, and if it seems like the right fit for you, which I think it definitely will, then you can move forward and work with the same people who I am working with right now and who I highly recommend. So you can book that call from the first link, or you can scan this QR code right here to speak to them directly on WhatsApp as well. But with that, let's start off with the first tour in downtown. So this first unit is in a building called Claren Tower in downtown. We are right by the downtown boulevard. The price is 2.175 million AED. I'll put the US dollar numbers on the screen as well. The size is 843 square foot. Now this one is an older building, but it's a very well maintained building. A lot of buildings in Dubai that are older might have poorer construction quality. They might not have as good noise insulation, but this one is actually very well maintained. As you can see, it looks and feels quite nice despite being old. The benefit here is that it has this study area in here, which a lot of these units that we're looking at don't have. It's not the biggest, but it is quite cozy. It has a big kitchen, and in general, it is a very good option. The one concern here would be that it's quite close to this promenade. So at traffic time, I wonder how much noise there would be. There's a big consideration for me. I really don't want there to be any noise issues, but generally this is a very strong option to start off with. Looking at the amenities, most buildings in Dubai are going to have a pool, which we have over there, and then you have a gym, which is quite large. Like usually the gyms in the buildings are not that good. Obviously the decor and everything isn't as modern as some of the other buildings that we're going to see, but a pretty good option at a pretty good price. But before we move on to the next one, let's just talk about my criteria. Like, what am I even looking for with this property? Well, first of all, I'm looking for a place to live. If it's a great investment, that's a nice bonus, but primarily this is going to be my home. This is going to be the place where I live most of the time, at least whenever I am in Dubai. Now, ideally, my idea is that whenever I am in Dubai, I would be living in this place, and whenever I'm away, I could Airbnb it. So it is part of my consideration to think about what areas and what kind of buildings would be good for Airbnbs, but this is clearly a secondary consideration. So in terms of the property itself, there's a couple of things that I'm looking for. First of all, I want it to be quite big. Ideally, at least 800 square foot. If it's something like 700, that is okay. But I won't even really consider something like 400, 500 square foot or something like that. We are looking at a couple that are smaller, but ideally I want it to be big. I want it to be in a community that is livable, that I actually like staying in, even though I spend most of the time inside. I like to go on walks. I want there to be restaurants and like things to do in this area as well. I want it to have good build quality. Not every building in Dubai is good build quality, and I've stayed in a lot of buildings that are not the greatest build quality, so I'm paying a lot of attention to this. I want the building to either have a gym that is good enough for me to work out, because I work out almost every single day, or it has to be in an area that has a commercial gym at maximum like 10-15 minutes distance by walking. So that means that in downtown it's not as crucial, but if you go to the Creek Harbour, it's very crucial that it has a good gym, because Creek Harbour actually doesn't have any commercial gyms. Then I want it to be either in downtown or within 20 minutes of downtown. So why close to downtown and not close to Marina, where I used to live before? Well, I found I would actually be going to downtown quite often. We would be going to Dubai Mall, and also simply right now almost all my friends are either living in downtown or close to downtown. So I would find myself going to downtown quite a lot, whereas when I was living in downtown, I would almost never find myself going to the marina. And very importantly, I do not want there to be any noise, whether it's from traffic or like a loud AC unit or something like that. I need to have excellent sleep. So these are the criteria. Now let's look at the second unit. Now moving on to the second unit. This one is in a building called Act 1, right on the boulevard of downtown. The price is 2.3 million dirhams and the size is 712 square foot. So right on the upper end of my budget, but on the lower end of the size. You obviously pay for the location here. Now this one is also not a bad option at all. Nice layout. You have this open plan kitchen over there, nice bedroom, and this I believe comes furnished, and we have this pretty standard bathroom area in here. Now the finishings in this building feel quite good. The con is that obviously it is a bit more expensive and it is slightly on the smaller side. However, we do have a nice view of the Dubai downtown boulevard over here. Not a bad option at all. Now looking at the amenities, you have the pool over there, which we couldn't enter. We have a gym, which is pretty similar size to the previous one. Then we have this little lounge area over here, and that takes us to the third unit, which we actually walked into right across the boulevard in here. This is in a building called Forte. Now this is one of the nicer buildings I've been in downtown. The price is 2.2 million dirhams. The finishings in this building are absolutely excellent. I really love this building. The gym, which we'll see in a moment, is amazing, but the downside is that the size is on the smaller side. It's only 650 square foot. I still wanted to take a look just to get an idea of what the smaller unit would look like. Obviously this one is unfurnished, which is not really a problem because I don't want to furnish it anyway. The view here also not the greatest in my opinion, but the highlight here would be the building itself and the amenities. The gym here is pretty much the best gym that I've ever seen in any building in all of Dubai, so definitely wouldn't need a gym membership in this building, but probably I would not go for this one just because of that size. Now moving on to our second set of properties, which will be in the Dubai Creek Harbour. This one is Creek Palace, a brand new building in Dubai Creek Harbour. The price is 2.1 million dirhams. I forgot the exact size, but this is also quite small. I would say probably around 650 square foot or something like that. Now I was also very impressed with this building. The whole feeling and everything of the building is very, very nice. And you also have a very nice view looking across the Creek Island all the way into downtown. However, the con is that the gym here is not quite what I'm looking for, especially in the creek. Like, it's quite important the gym would be big enough for me to do proper workouts and do not need a gym membership. The pool area seems quite nice, but we are on the kind of mainland side of Creek and I would prefer to be on the other side. So now we are going on to the next unit, which is in Creek Edge Tower 1. I would say this one is so far my favorite out of all the ones that I've seen. We have a really nice view of the entire creek. This entire unit is furnished and it comes furnished as well. The finishings here, again, very, very nice. This is also, again, a very premium building. Definitely love the build quality and everything like that over here. We have this living room in here, as well as this kitchen, dining table. Again, pretty standard. Like, all of these look very, very similar, obviously, in terms of the layout. So there's not that much to talk about here. Overall, a very strong option as well. And the price for this one is 2.15 million and the size is 724 square foot, but it is actually quite a reasonable size. No issue with that. Just ideally it would be a bit bigger. Now taking a look at the gym here would be good enough. The dumbbells also go quite high, which they usually don't go in these building gyms, so I could do workouts here, no issue whatsoever. Now finally looking at the pool area, we have a very spacious hangout area here outside and a nice spacious pool over there as well. On to the final unit, which is in a building called The Grand. Now the Grand is widely known as pretty much the best building in the creek. It is by far the most luxurious, nicest feeling building in this area, but with that also comes a higher price tag. So this is 2.35 million dirhams, which is the highest price out of anything we've seen, but also probably outside of maybe Forte, the nicest building we have been in. Now this is unfurnished, so it's a bit more difficult to like see what it's going to look like when it's furnished, but we do have a view of both the creek as well as the water, so kind of like a semi water view. Now I do like the view here. I would say I probably prefer slightly the view on the previous one in Creek Edge, but still like a pretty decent view, nothing to complain about there. And the size here I also really like. It is almost exactly 800 square foot. And also looking at the amenities of the building, we have a gym that is very, very spacious. Now we actually stayed in this building on an Airbnb, which I also have a tour of on this channel, for a week. So what I like about this option is that I already know that I like this building because we already stayed here. The pool here as well is absolutely amazing, probably the nicest pool I've ever seen out of any building in Dubai. You have this infinity pool overlooking the Burj Khalifa as well as the downtown skyline. And then over here we have a little hangout area, barbecue area, I think, with the view of the Burj in the background. And of course over here we get also a beautiful view of the entire Creek Harbour. From here we are now accessing a different section. I have no idea what's actually here, but let's find out. So looks like we have some like mini outdoor gym area here, play area, like a second play area. There's two of those it seems. It's also like this area here. I have no idea what this is even for, but it has some table there. All right, so over here we have badminton, and then over there we have tennis. Now I don't know how it works to like book these things, but I assume it's free for residents, and that would be really great because I actually play tennis quite often. Like we would used to play like every week or even twice a week sometimes. So having access is right in the building would be very nice indeed. So now after these viewings, I have a pretty good idea of what I can actually get for my budget. My budget is a very strong budget for a one bedroom, which is why we are only looking at the very premium buildings in these pretty much top areas. And we will look at more options as well. So there will be a part 2 coming to this video. So definitely subscribe to see that. But if just looking at these 6 options, what I would need to decide is that do I prefer being in a newer, more premium building, but being in the creek, which is further away from downtown, or do I prefer to be in an older building, so I'm sacrificing on the building quality but being in downtown? So would I rather pay for the location or for the niceness of the building? That is essentially what I need to decide. Now it's actually already a couple of weeks since these viewings, and I am at the point where I'm actually going to be making an offer on one of the units that we looked at here. I'm not going to tell you yet which one it is. I'm going to let you guess down below. But if you're interested in this process and if you're interested to see what happens, make sure to stay tuned to the channel because I'm going to document the entire process of purchasing the property, whichever one I end up buying, everything that I learned through this process and everything that you need to know to help you as much as possible to also not make a lot of expensive mistakes in the process of buying properties. And again, if you want to buy property here and you're looking to use an agent who is an expert, who you can fully trust, because again, a lot of agents in Dubai are not that great, you can book that free call from the first link down below in the description to work with the same agent that I work with and who I can absolutely vouch for. So make sure to book that free consultation, and you can click here for the full process on what it actually looks like to buy property in Dubai.